I don't know that I can hold that on this ladder. I feel like I'm gonna fall. This does not feel safe.
Can you reach the ceiling? Scott Brown here. The only reason this is the intro is because I know the rest of the episode is going to look like this. In today's exciting episode, we're putting this room back together. If you've watched the last few exciting episodes, we've been pulling the room apart. I'd like to say that we're going to make it warm again, but it was never warm, so we're going to make it warm now. Bit of insulation, we've got a bit of packers and ripping and stuff like that to do. So if you want to see how I do that, well, enjoy this exciting episode. Now that I've done all the messy stuff, we can start putting this insulation on the wall. We've got a few different types of insulation. So I'd love to just be able to get one type of insulation and that's it. But I had to get several types. Back in 1962 when they built my house, there was no insulation to put in the walls. Or the ceiling or the floor. So they never constructed it in a way that allowed for it. Had to put the one I need first on the bottom, right? I know what you're thinking. Man, that Scott really is a smooth operating professional. I think I'm going to come up with some sort of storage system here in the carport because I can barely move around in that garage at the moment. You know, it's only a few bales of bats, a few sheets of jib and it's out of control. So that'll be a future exciting episode. So for the internal walls in between the bedrooms, I've got this stuff here. Polyester Mammoth Nova Hush. It's a 100% polyester acoustic blanket insulation. Now the reason I chose polyester is basically I wanted an acoustic blanket and this is what was available. 90mm acoustic blanket. It's compressed at the moment. I think it'll probably puff up over time and fill that wall space up. Now I'm a little bit anxious. This stuff can be hard to cut. So in the past I've tried to use regular knives and polyester can be difficult. This is a bit thinner than the other sections that we've used before. No, it's way easier. On that villa restoration job we did at the start of last year, we had some sections there that we had to put in and they were like that thick and they were dense. And honestly there was like no easy way to cut it. I think we ended up using a grinder and sacrificing the grinder blades. Total mission. So I bought this anticipating that this might be the same, but as you just saw there, this probably wasn't necessary.
Do you realise you just said, as you just saw there?
So you put this in there like that. So I always encourage clients to do this, to put this insulation between rooms. You don't legally have to do it, it's not part of building consent, but it improves the privacy between bedrooms. Otherwise you've just got jib, hollow space, and then jib. It's not like a perfect sound wall either. If you're going for like if this was a recording studio, you'd probably go to greater lengths to get better sound control.
But it stops you from hearing your snoring guests, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or rather, it stops our guests from hearing you snore.
Why don't you have a go at cutting the insulation? Alright, so you just put a bit of pressure on the level, but always, ooh, careful. So try and think about where that knife's going to go if you slip. I won't necessarily put this in the video.
Where would you stand?
I would stand to that side of it.
It's just hard because I'm not really big enough.
Let the knife do the cutting if you know what I mean. Don't press it extra hard.
How do you get the first cut started?
Just glide along the top, so you're just cutting the top fibres.
Unless you score it first.
Yeah, and you do it like 3 or 4 times until it goes all the way through.
It's much less satisfying than I thought it would be. I remember in school we made soft toys and cushions in sewing class.
It was probably the same stuff.
Almost certainly. Feels the same stuff. Feels like the stuff in put now. Teddies, I'm making a mess of this. Do you maybe want to finish it?
Okay. Before we jump into a time lapse of this whole wall being filled with insulation, let's try it with the insulation saw.
That seems more clunky than using the blade.
It does,
Seems more likely to have an accident, if I'm honest.
Yeah, okay, I'll go back to the blade. This is probably meant for the more dense, rigid insulation. One more to go. That doesn't work this way, Jess. You can rip it, but only across the way. And scissors seem to be helping, but it's still slow. Yes, Jess, back at it again. Yeah. What's that? Hey!
Can't hide the truth, Scott. You can put a polyester over it, but you can't hide it.
We did it, Jess!
We did it.
It's dark outside, but we did it.
It's dinner time.
It's dinner time. It's mainly dark outside because it's winter. What is it, like 5 o'clock?
It's been overcast and rainy for days.
This is one of the worst winters I remember. It sounds so much better. We've got the insulation and the 2 partition walls. Let's cut to tomorrow where the sun is shining. Smoker time, Jess? You looking forward to your coffee?
I am.
So Jess and I figuring out what to do with the insulation, and we've got the acoustic insulation as you just saw. We also need external wall insulation and ceiling insulation. I'll talk about the external wall in the next episode, but the ceiling, I kind of need your help a little bit. I got the long black with a little dollop of cream here. That's how I play the game. So the issue is our ceiling is 90mm thick, the joists are. So you can get a bit of insulation in there. But where the ceiling and the wall meet, we've got rafters coming down, closing off that space. And that space needs a little bit of a gap for ventilation. So that limits the amount of insulation you can then put on top of the 90mm joists. So I'm going to put insulation in that 90mm frame. I could get up to like R2.8, but then I'm limited in terms of what I can put over the top where it meets the feet. What do you think? Skillion? What, polyester? Glass wool? What would you do? That was a great cheese scone. Hey Jess.
It was very nice.
Grape Escape if you're in the Nelson Tasman district.
Love a pun.
Huh? Oh, Grape Escape.
Escape.
That is quite good actually, yeah. Speaking of ceiling insulation and ceilings in general, we need to put some new interior lining on the ceiling. Alright, so if you're wondering what kind of ceiling we have here, well this is a soft board, and it's super common in these old New Zealand houses, particularly from like the 40s to the 60s. But it's funny though, they had plasterboard on the walls, but softboard on the ceiling. So it's basically just like mulched up wood fibers and a bit of glue. And you can see that when you look at it up close. It's kind of like MDF, right, where you put sheets up and you can't really plaster over the joint. So you just put like a molding. In this case, you put half round timber molding and you nail over the joint. So now I've taken those moldings off, I can have a look at how straight things are. It's not the worst stuff in the world either. It's got quite good acoustic value and thermal value as well. In the last exciting episode, I went up there and I cleaned all that ceiling because, you know, I was just going to pull it all down. But now I'm playing with the idea of covering over it. It's not that bad. And I think with the jib glued up and screwed all the way to the batten, it might be okay. Now if you think I'm being a bit loosey-goosey about this and putting jib board over an old product like Pinex, well, it's actually on the Brands website, and Brands is like the government organization for building. They recommend leaving it there because of its acoustic values, if it's in good condition. That's the key. And this stuff here is in great condition. I might actually go around and put some extra screws in this stuff before I do that as well. I'm going for it. I'm doing it. No, the end.
Just still learning.
Is it in the center now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Huh, interesting. So simple.
So you just pull it, you pluck it basically.
Like that?
Yeah. That's full height. Try it. Alright, Jess has popped out, so I haven't got an extra pair of hands, so I'm going to have to improvise. It always helps when you have to sheet the right way to begin with. I don't have the drill. There we go. Oh my god.
Alright, what do you need help with? Because I'm hungry.
You're gonna lift this sheet with me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be that line, but I'll look at that from my end.
I don't know that I can hold that on this ladder. I feel like I'm gonna fall.
Okay, how about you get a bit higher?
This does not feel safe.
Can you reach the ceiling?
Yep.
You got it?
No. I need to work on my core.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the other end. Thank you, Jess.
Good, my lunch.
This is it's a Japanese rasp, and I think it's designed so the dust all goes out the bottom there. It's got like a little tray. It's a Tajima TVYD80 180, a rasp.
It's a funny name. I have a raspy voice. The same thing?
Yeah, same thing. I bought it off Amazon. Okay, I've got to pick a few things up, but and there's more plasterboard to do, as you can obviously see. But we'll do that in the next exciting episode. Thank you for all the birthday wishes, by the way. In the last exciting episode, I mentioned that it was my birthday, and Jess and I had a really good weekend. We went to, we actually had some sunshine for a change, and we went to Marport Wharf. That's where those intro shots came from. And we also went to the Brook Bird Sanctuary, which is like this place where they have all the native birds, and it was really cool. As I mentioned before about the insulation, let me know what you guys think. What would you put in that ceiling to maximize the R value, but also keep the thickness minimal? That's the goal. Thanks for watching this exciting episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and I'll put the videos up next to here, previous video. You can watch it and subscribe as well for future videos. Alright, bye.
And tell them that it was my birthday too a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah, it was Jess's birthday a few weeks ago. She feels
Forget
left
it,
out.
it's too late.